Welcome to VetMed Trek, where we highlight various veterinary and animal professionals, showcasing their expertise and passions, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two about a thing or two. Today we're trekking around Wayland, Michigan. Once a thriving home to Native Americans, this historic small town is sandwiched between Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids, offering that small town charm with fun activities like outdoor movies and concerts, farmers markets, and festivals. We will be learning about our compassionate friends at Paws with a Cause and how they train service dogs for the community. Let's go. So we are here at Pause with a Cause with Sydney, who is our marketing and communications manager. Thanks for joining us, Sydney. She showed us a beautiful tour of the facility, and we're just going to ask a couple of questions just to learn a little bit more about the projects and upcoming things that are going on here. So Sydney, can you tell us a little bit about the history and more about Pause with a Cause?
Yeah, we have a very interesting history in how we were founded. So we were founded back in 1979, and we were originally called Ears for the Deaf. And that is because so our founder was actually a delivery man. He had a paper route. On his route, he had two friends of his that were a deaf couple. They had just adopted a child, and they needed a way to hear their baby crying. And so Mike, our founder, he had trained show dogs, Doberman Pinschers, but he had never trained an assistance dog before. However, Marty and Diane were the deaf couple, and they, just asked Mike, "Can you help us with this?" And he insisted that's not what he did, and that he couldn't help them. But eventually, Marty was very persistent, and eventually Mike caved. And so he trained their personal dog. It was a Cairn Terrier named Crystal, to be a hearing dog and alert them to their baby crying. And so with that launched our mission, and it was just to enhance the lives and, provide that safety and confidence for people with disabilities. And so we started with those hearing dogs first. And as we grew and the demand for different types of assistance dogs has grown, we rebranded to Paws with a Cause. And so now we trained our 4 types of assistance dogs. And that's going to be those service dogs, the hearing dogs, service dogs for mobility, seizure response dogs, and then seizure or service dogs for children with autism.
Typically, how long does training go for these dogs? I know earlier you had mentioned that there is a prison program as well, which is almost like the doggy college, which is about 6 months. I really wish my college was 6 months. I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie. So talk to us a little bit about that. How long is the training, and what do they do when they go to the prison?
Yeah. So overall, it's about 2 to 2.5 years of training to get to be an assistance dog, which is a pretty long time. That prison program, yes, is about 6 months. That happens right after their first year of life, where they live with a foster puppy raiser. And really, we do that prison program because they still have puppy brain. They're immature. They're not quite ready for that specialized assistance dog training. And so that doggy college is a good way for them to work on the advanced obedience training. when they come back here and we custom match them to a client, and then we start their custom training process, that can be anywhere from 5 to 10 months that they're here. And that really just depends on how many tasks they need to learn. So we can train our dogs in up to 30 different tasks. But some people need help with maybe 5 things at home. Some people need help with maybe 10, 11, 12 things. And so, how many tasks the dog needs to learn will really determine how long that they're in training.
What are some qualifications, traits, characteristics that you look for that make these dogs a good candidate for training?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that we look for, and a lot of that is done and selected with our breeding program. So we're looking for that really good temperament, that love of people, the high energy drive to work. But we're also looking at the physicality of the dog, and so we want to make sure that they have the hips that are not gonna, be an issue later in life. So we want to make sure we're selecting for hip dysplasia and trying to breed that out of our population, because they need good working hips to be able to have the strength to pull a door open for a client, or brace and help them stand. They have to be in top-notch health, basically. And so working with our breeding program, we get to select for the temperament, and also those physical abilities.
Which is so important, by the way. If you're familiar with veterinary medicine and just how things can just go pretty wrong very quickly when you don't have a properly bred dog. So the fact that you guys are taking that initiative and that extra step to make sure that these dogs are going to fulfill the roles that they are bred to do is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So Sydney, what happens when they fail? Where do they go?
Here at PAWS, we try not to use the word fail, because we, just like every human, some of us are doctors, some of us are teachers. We all have different careers, we all have different personalities, and dogs are the same. And so, yes, some dogs will make it to the assistance dog career, but if they don't, if there's some reason that maybe that career is not right for them, we do our best to find an alternative placement. And so that could be a facility dog, which is basically like a therapy dog that would live, with a principal, a hospital, child life specialist. So they'll work in schools, hospitals, other organizations to kind of provide that comfort and emotional support for people.
I love that.
And then there's also our alternative careers like electronic storage detection. They can work with a police agency to, smell narcotics, arson detection, electronic detection. So there's a lot of different careers that our dogs can be placed in. Our goal is for our dogs, 90% of them to be in a working career, and currently we're at about 86%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Sydney, when we went through and you gave us a tour earlier, we got to see quite a bit of different breeds of dogs. So what services are the dogs trained for, and are they breed specific?
Yeah, so we do 4 different types of breeds here. It's primarily going to be Labrador retrievers and golden retrievers, and that's because they have that drive to work, that love of humans, and they're also very food motivated, and so that helps. We also have the hypoallergenic option of poodles, and then we use a small breed Papillon for hearing dogs most often. But any of the dogs can be custom trained to any disability within reason. Some seizure response dogs or service dogs for mobility need to be the larger dogs because they have to be able to have that strength to open up a door, which a 10-pound Papillon does not.
They would love to try.
They would love
to try.
Exactly. So there are some, specific jobs that some service dogs will do, but we try to customize to our clients. And so sometimes those Papillons are typically used for hearing dogs, but sometimes our clients need a more high energy dog that would be like a lab, because maybe they're super active in their lifestyle.
What are some volunteer opportunities that are available, and how can the community get involved and give back and show support?
Yeah. There are a lot of different ways to get involved. The most common way is foster puppy raising. And so, for that first year of the dog's life, when they're about 8 to 12 weeks, they'll go live with a foster puppy raiser. And so, this is basic obedience training, basically. You teach the dog sit, stay, come, and really just provide a loving home for the dog as it gains the maturity to be able to be trained for this type of work. And so you're also doing a little bit of socialization with the puppy and taking it to public spaces like restaurants, libraries, grocery stores, things like that, because we want to prepare these dogs for a career where they can go anywhere with their client. And so it's socializing the puppy, building confidence, and then just basic obedience training. And so it's a really cool opportunity, and you get a cuddly little puppy in your home for a year. So that's our most common opportunity. But we also, if you are local to Grand Rapids and Wayland, you can also come volunteer on site and help us clean kennels, provide enrichment for the dogs while they're here, all different types of opportunities.
Perfect. And what about donations, monetary donations, blankets, those kind of things? Are those some things that you guys are also in need of?
Yes, absolutely. We always need donations. So we estimate that it costs about $35,000 to breed, raise, and train these dogs and get them placed with the clients that need them. But we are funded entirely by philanthropy. So there's no government funding, there's no insurance coverage for assistance dogs. And so we really rely on our community for that kind of support. So, yes, financial contributions are always helpful. But yes, you can also donate in kind. So we do have an Amazon wish list on our website, and as well as there's a list of items that we will accept for donations.
Perfect. So one of the other very unique things that you do here at Pause with a Cause is you have a lot of mock situations set up. Right now we are sitting in a mock house. It's nicer than my own, not going to lie. They even have my exact oven here. Like it feels like home. It's pretty nice. So some other things that you have set up here, you have a mock restaurant, you have a mock storefront. So they are looking for some help and some donations. So either from local grocery stores like Meijer to just kind of help outfit that so these dogs can get comfortable before they go out into the public. Is there anything else that you guys are in need of that, or specifically that you're looking for from local grocery stores that can help you fund that side of the mission?
Yeah, I think we're mostly looking for financial contributions right now. Yeah, we still need some furniture and things. That you said this apartment is, nicer than yours, which we tried to make it like the real world for our dogs. So one of the things that with this whole renovation project is we needed to make sure that our training spaces actually reflected the lives of our clients. So we tried to make these as real world as possible. So we still need donations for that campaign and getting our cafe, our apartments, and the store all completed.
And we did get to tour next door as well. They have a massive new breeding facility and as well as a vet space to take care of these animals. So that should be completed end of October.
October 2025.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So come on by, check it out when it's all ready to go. And thanks again. Thank you for everything and everything you guys do here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that concludes our interview here with Sydney at Pause with a Cause. Thank you so much for the opportunity to meet with us and speak just about the amazing things that you guys are doing here. So I will have links down at the bottom. If you have any questions or want to explore any opportunities, you'll be able to find some different contacts on their website. So don't hesitate to reach out. They're doing a wonderful thing for the community, and it's a really good way to get involved and give back.